Hey guys, I'm Shawn Price.
I'm Martha Brewer.
And I'm Donna Price.
And welcome to SuperStuff.
SuperStuff.
Yeah! Yeah. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is our 8th or 9th episode, something like that. I'm actually recording this before I even went to Chicago, but I just got back from Chicago, if you're listening to this, because this is going to come out after we went to Chicago. I have my grandma on the podcast this time, and we're going to talk about some trips and vacations and going on places and whatnot, and we're gonna have a good conversation about that. So, how you guys doing?
Good. How are
Fine.
you?
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but I've been up since 7 this morning, and it's all right. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma's got my other pair of colorblind glasses on right now, so she looks real goofy.
I can't see you.
You can't see me? Yeah, you can see me.
No, they can't see you.
Oh, yeah, they can't see us, obviously.
Oh, they can't see us?
Nah. Where's the camera?
Oh, I sure am glad.
Do you see a camera in here? Yeah, do you see cameras anywhere or anything?
What is a podcast, Shawn?
You never heard of a podcast?
I
like
have, but I don't know what it is.
kind of like, you know how when you were younger, like 400 years ago, no, you know how when you were younger on the radio, there would be the talk shows and they'd be like, hey, blah, 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 and this is blah, 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 and this is the radio show, before they play music.
We didn't have radios.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
You probably didn't, did you, at your house?
No.
Well, you lived in southern West Virginia, like back in the boondocks of Wayne County, so I mean, you might not have had it, but I mean,
You mean when I was young like you?
yeah, well, when you were, okay, I'm young, but not terribly young. Well, say when you were like a teenager.
Did you have a radio?
I don't remember having a radio.
Really? You're only, what, 43? Yeah.
She actually has a birthday tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
Don't you dare say my age.
Oh my god. Yeah, so you don't think you had a radio when you were younger?
I don't remember.
Really? Well, okay, well, you know what a radio is, obviously. I mean, that's like a big deal.
Yes.
Okay, so it's when you're listening to the radio, and in between music, they have the people that talk for a while. They're like, hey, welcome to this, and this, blah, 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 blah. I'm bringing you your morning talk show, blah, blah, blah. And then they play more music after that.
I'm sure my mom and dad had a radio, but
Sorry, I had to pause it randomly because my dogs were barking at something outside. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I'm sure my mom and dad had a radio, but I don't remember having a radio. Us kids probably was not allowed to have the radio.
You don't have to correct your grammar. It's much better if you don't.
Oh.
But you know what I'm talking about, though, like in between music and stuff.
Yes.
Like when they talk on the radio like that.
Yeah.
That's like what a podcast is, except there's no music afterwards or before.
Okay.
It's just people turn it on instead of music to listen to it because they think we're funny or they think we're interesting or they're just really, really sad pieces of crap and they like listening to my voice.
Aww.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah. That's why I listen to podcasts.
That's not why I listen to you.
Oh, you listen to my podcast?
Yes.
No way, for real?
Yeah. You've clicked on and listened to it, haven't you?
I watch Dr.Phil and I hear him talking about a podcast. I'm going to have to get on there and watch his.
Yeah. He's got Shaquille O'Neal on his, I think.
Yeah.
I love Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Talk about Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's okay. I don't know if he's a real doctor or not. I haven't really looked into it, but I mean.
I think he is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe he is.
Okay. I actually, back in the day, someone told me that he didn't have an actual degree or anything, but I mean, like, I haven't done the research since to actually figure it out or not, but
Well,
he could be.
I haven't asked Siri or anything if he is.
I don't think you probably should say that.
Should say what? That he's not a doctor?
That Dr. Phil is not.
Well, he just doesn't know like if he's a real medical doctor.
Yeah, I didn't say he's not a real doctor. I said I don't.
He's real.
I said I don't know if he's a real doctor. Hold on.
He's real.
Hey Siri, is Dr. Phil a real doctor?
I don't personally know Phil McGraw, so I couldn't say.
See, Siri.
Well, there you have it. Siri doesn't even know.
Siri has the same problem as you, Shawn.
Sari's not real smart.
Oh gosh, one of the overlords is going to take over us if you keep saying stuff like that.
Like when I was coming up to Parkersburg yesterday, I asked Siri to bring me to 1815 Liberty Street.
That's my address for those of you who want to come and visit me. Thanks for announcing that live to the world.
And
I'm not editing
it was just
out.
like totally a different place she was taking me to.
Really?
Yeah, and I got lost, and Donna had to come and get me. And I've been up here like 10 times.
Yeah, if you've been up here 10 times, how do you have to keep using your GPS to get here? That was too long of a pause for you to have to think about.
I just get lost when I get in closer to here.
Okay, so you know how to get all
I know how to get all the way except for when I get close to here, I take the wrong street or something, and I end up somewhere else, and Donna has to come and get me.
Okay, are you Googling Dr. Phil right now?
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
Dr. Phil McGraw graduated in 1975 from Midwestern State University with a BA in psychology. He went to earn his MA in experimental psychology in 1976 and a PhD in clinical psychology in 1979.
See, he's real.
So he does have a master's in psychology. So.
If you watch his show, Shawn, you would know that Dr. Phil is real.
Well, I mean, I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but I don't believe that a lot of that stuff is real, so.
Anyway.
Anything on anything on television can be fabricated. Like, most reality shows aren't even actual reality.
Yeah, and when you first Google it, it's controversial, though.
It
so
is?
I understand where you can see that, because when you first Google it, the first thing that pops up is it says, Dr. Phil McGraw is not a real doctor. He just plays one on TV.
Ooh.
But then when you go to look through it and read it, he does have a doctorate degree.
Right.
Yeah, he's real.
I love how serious you are about that. Like you're not even you're very defensive. You're like, hey, you know what? Dr. Phil's real, and if you don't think he's real, screw you, man.
We are real Dr. Phil fans.
Yeah.
Real Dr.
Hashtag
Phil's.
Dr. Phil.
Hashtag. Okay, sure. I'll hashtag this video. Hashtag Dr. Phil. I'll even make the title. We hate Dr. Phil. Is that
No,
we
don't
love
do
Dr.
that.
Phil.
Shawn,
okay?
don't do that.
I'll make it. We love Dr. Phil. What are you worried about?
She just loves Dr. Phil. She doesn't want to offend him.
I just like Dr.
okay.
Phil, and I don't want him to think that you don't like him.
Aww.
He's like a family member to us.
Because you're my grandson, Shawn. You've got to
Respect your elders.
respect your elders.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Phil. I'm Dr. Phil. My bad.
And Mamaw.
And grandmother. I'm sorry. That's one thing that I noticed too. All of my cousins and my sister and all of my relatives. Gambit! Shut up. Yeah, like all of my relatives, like cousins and everything, they all call you Mamaw. I call you Grandma. I haven't called you Mamaw in a couple years, actually.
I know. Why is that?
Shawn says his kids have to call me grandmother because that's like a proper name.
And they'll call Dad, where's he at?
In the garage. Oh.
I wasn't asking you.
I'm Mamaw to a lot of people.
Yeah. You know, the Pope, Stalin. Do you know who those people are?
No.
Great. Okay, so my cousins and everyone calls you Mamaw, but I call you grandmother because I felt like it was a little more proper and stuff. And I don't know, it just I started and I've noticed that too with like all of my family members and all of my relatives and stuff. They all have like accents, like southern accents, kind of like they have this twang in their voice and they always talk like this. But like I speak very proper, I feel. And I feel like that's a thing that I made myself do in like middle school or high school. Like I made myself to speak proper. And I don't know why that is, but
your southern accent comes out sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Like I'll oh, excuse me, I burped. If I say certain words, yeah, like orange kind of sounds like that. Or no, when I say no, like in a just a chill context, if I'm just like talking and stuff, then I'll be like, nah. What is it?
Shawn, you're a very smart kid.
Let's not get too far. I'm not. Moving on. So I
Don't get the big head now, Shawn.
How am I getting a big head? You just called me smart. I'm a complete idiot. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some vacation spots and stuff like that because like I'm getting ready to go on this trip. I'm going to Chicago, and if you
Now, Shawn, you better be careful up there in Chicago because it's not like West Virginia.
Oh, I know. I was thinking of taking my tractor, but I think I'm going to leave it here instead.
And the roads are probably like
nice.
Probably like 5 or 6 roads that you got to drive on, like lanes. Like down here, it's just like 2.
Yeah. Well, at least the roads up in Chicago are.
Shawn.
At least the roads in Chicago are probably drivable. Like, I bet in Chicago you don't have to pay an X amount of dollars to get an inspection sticker to make sure your car is suitable to drive on roads that aren't suitable to drive on every year, like you do in West Virginia.
Okay, you can just go around the potholes.
Yeah? You just go around them? You go into the other lane?
Yeah, if nothing's coming.
If there's any cops listening to my podcast, my grandma's license plate number is...
Do you really think they would give us a ticket if we go around a pothole if they see us?
Why, yeah.
Why?
Well, it depends on what... Well, I mean, I feel like some cops are more lenient than others, but I mean, like, it really depends because, like, if you're driving and it's not a dotted line in the middle of the intersection and you cross over the line, then you're breaking the rules, you know? You're breaking the law. You're gonna...
It's okay.
Is it?
So what are you going to Chicago for?
Comic-Con. Yeah, I'm going with my friend Tonray and George, 2 of the 5 members of the Super Adventure Brothers, patent pending. And we are going to Comic-Con to spread joy, love, and cheer throughout all of Chicago. And hopefully we'll interview some nice people, and we'll have all of their links in the descriptions of the podcasts that we actually interview them on. Maybe we can get a couple cosplayers on the podcast while we're up there. We're going to go record a couple episodes.
Make sure you all stay together.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to stay together. I mean, it's kind of, like, Tonray and I have been to Chicago a couple times. We've been to Comic-Cons a few times, and Comic-Con's a very safe place. Chicago is not, but it's safe in, like, the city, I feel. Even if it's not, then, I mean, we know our way around at this point. We've been to Chicago quite a few times. I've been 3 times. This will be my 4th time going. And George has never been, though. So this is going to be a completely new experience for George, and I'm very, very excited to introduce him to Chicago because I think the biggest city he's been is, like, Columbus.
He may not come back.
I may not come back.
And you do have a friend up there, Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd's my mom's friend. They've been friends since they were young, so, I mean...
So if you get lost, you can just call Lloyd.
Yeah, I'll get his number before I leave, make sure. But if you're listening to this podcast, then you know that, or if you've listened to the previous episodes, if not, then go listen to the previous episodes. They're great, I hope. And then if you're listening to this episode, after you've listened to the previous episodes, then you know that we've already went to Chicago in those episodes, so you can listen to our experience in Chicago on those podcasts, so you can go back and listen to them. But as this is being recorded, it's like, I think 4 days before I leave. But yeah, I mean, for real, I might not even I might not even come back from Chicago. Like, word. And I've thought about that. Like, I have a lot of this stuff that I want to do as far as, like, recording and all this animation stuff. And if I can find a place to bunk while I'm up there for a little while and look around, I might just stay up there for a month or 2.
Shawn, you can't stay.
Why not?
Cause
why? Speak a little louder. They can't hear your
complaints. Because you know
complaints.
nothing about the place.
Why, yeah, I do. I've been there 4 times.
Okay.
That's all the argument you needed? That's all the convincing you needed? Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, speaking of going to Chicago. Sorry for the interruption. The dog started barking again, and Grandma wanted to record the podcast at the house instead of at my office, so that's why the dogs keep interrupting. But it's okay. But what I was saying... Speaking of Chicago and stuff, speaking of me going to Chicago, we're going to talk about some vacations and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I consider going to Comic-Con like a small vacation, you know? Because, like, it's something that I want to do. It's something that I'm doing with my buddies to have fun, and I'm not working, you know? So, like, what's a couple good stories of some vacations you've went on, Grandma?
Well, my scariest one was New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit.
Well, the girls took me to New York.
Okay.
And we got down there and we missed the what was that thing? Subway that was supposed to pick us back up to take us back to get back on the I can't even think.
Street?
Yeah. So anyway, we're standing there and this car pulls up to start with, and this man gets out in this long black coat, and all these young girls gets out with like mini skirts on, and then two of the girls gets in an argument, and it just scares me to death. And I just make sure the girls are close to me.
Wait. The girls, as in the girls who took you to New York, or the girls as in the girls who got out of the car in the mini skirts?
No, my girls, Donna and Marie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just scared to death because I've seen movies on TV, and I knew what that car was.
Oh, yeah, and everything that happens in movies is real, so.
Yeah. But anyway, then we're standing there, and somebody starts hitting us with something from up in the top of the building.
Like throwing something at you?
Yes. And I'm just scared to death.
Did it hurt?
It kind of did hurt.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
But anyway, it was like fruit.
Oh.
Like oranges and apples and stuff.
Okay.
And then I find out they're shooting them out of a gun, like a fruit gun.
This sounds like a TV show, Grandma.
Anyway, one of the
You sure you didn't watch this last night?
No, one of the pieces of fruit, ask Donna. Donna, right?
She's just shaking her head.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the pieces of fruit hit a car out in the street, and then that guy jumps out and starts jumping on us because he thought we threw something at him, and then we have to point up there that it's coming from that apartment up there.
It wasn't me. It was God.
And it was pretty scary, and I thought we was going to miss our bus to come back home. Mm-hmm. And
because you were getting fruit thrown at you in the pimp and his
yeah,
hose.
and because we couldn't get a ride back to where we had to get on the bus to come back home. Okay. So my
that was back
sister-in-law,
before Uber existed, right?
My sister-in-law was with us, Eula, so she just runs out in the street and stops a taxi. And then there's not room in one taxi for all of us, so that scares me even more because we're not going to be able to go together. So we have to get two taxis. So that was a bad experience, and it was so cold, and my feet was wet, and I do not never want to go back to New York in the wintertime.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you don't ever want to go back to New York? Isn't New York, like, great?
Yeah, I want to go, but I want to go in the summer.
Okay. Hi there,
we
Percy.
went again after that, and it was really nice weather.
Yeah.
October.
But I don't remember anything bad happening then. And everything closed early. Like
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Remember? We couldn't get in no places, and
Everything
they don't
closes
want you
early
to sit
here.
down. They don't want you to sit down nowhere. I mean, if you're tired and you're cold, you just there's no place to sit down.
So
I mean,
when we went on a bus trip. So
Right.
the bus drops you off in Times Square at like 6 a.m. and then picks you up at 1 a.m. So we
Yeah.
didn't have like a hotel or anything like that to go and like sit and relax. And the only way a restaurant...
Did you go during a weekend or just one day?
One day, like a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So, and the only way that you can go like into a restaurant and sit is if you're ordering or paying or...
Yeah, so there was not even no window sills to sit on. I mean...
How dare.
There was nowhere to sit down, and I was so tired and cold, and
wet
I just
and
wanted
hungry
to be
and
back to West
miserable.
Virginia.
Come back to Texas.
I just wanted to go home.
You just wanted to come back to little old West Virginia. The moonshine,
and,
sunshine.
At one point, there was, oh shoot, what am I trying to say? A horse and buggy came by, really, like in New York.
Almost like the same one that drives in the city park
Yeah,
where
and
we
it
live.
like through snow and ice and water like all over us. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was pretty scary there.
You sound like you just like explained a novel to me. Like, you won't believe this. I got in New York and this pimp jumped out of this car with his hose and fruit got thrown at me and this guy wouldn't stop for me. And oh my God, it was wild, man.
Shawn, that is a true story.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
that
really my God.
Dawn, that's pretty much what it was.
And here I am going to Chicago.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was, a drive-by fruiting.
You can't steal that joke. Anyone who's listening, you can't steal that joke.
No, I actually stole it from a movie. I think it was a Robin Williams movie. But anyway,
Oh,
Mrs.
come
Doubtfire.
on.
Yeah,
You really stole it from a movie?
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire.
I thought you'd come up with that by yourself.
You listen here. If there's going to be any jokes told on my podcast, it's going to be original
Mrs.
jokes.
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Dippity.
But
Listen,
Shawn,
anyway.
no jokes, all jokes aside, that really happened.
So this is the funniest thing that happened. She didn't tell this story, this part. She was terrified as
Is it
soon
the DLC I have to buy?
Huh?
You don't know what that means. Keep going.
She was terrified from the minute we arrived in New York that somebody was going to steal my sister and I and sell us into human trafficking.
But
And
what
we
about
were
that one girl?
in our 30s.
Yeah,
this
that
was
one
not
girl.
when we were like 13.
That one
Still.
Marie to go to the that one girl that wanted Marie to go to the bathroom with her. I wouldn't let Marie go because I just knew.
No, but listen. So first of all, she's terrified from the time we set foot, and I'm not talking like she had two like 10-year-olds. We're in our 30s. So
No, okay.
she like kept us right by her side. Like, I mean, we could not move. And so this nice gentleman on the street walked up to us and was asking us a question because he heard our accents. So he says, "Hi, like, where are you guys from?" Mom comes over and grabs me and says, "Don't be talking to him." And literally, I have high heels on. She pulls me, and my heel got caught in like the grate on the ground, and I fall off of the curb onto the street, and it was awful. It was worse than what that guy could have done to me.
No, Donna, it's not.
Oh my God.
The only people we were allowed to talk to in New York was the New York City police officers.
Well, that's right.
That's it.
Yeah, how
They are
about
our
the one
masters,
that,
and we are forced to serve.
how
We
about
must
the
always
one
walk
that
behind the
looks
police
like-
officers.
Look just like our nephew
Yeah. He did.
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He really did. He looked like our nephew Scott. And
So he's a good person.
Actually, Scott, my niece was with us, Scott's wife, and she goes up to him and actually asked us to take a picture with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think he thought the girls was just flirting with him, but it was true. He really looked just like her husband back in West Virginia. Actually, I think they live in Ohio. Not sure.
Great. But
I may be getting both of the New York trips mixed up together because I think it was summer when Amanda went with us.
have you
Okay.
have you ever been to Chicago, Grandma?
No.
You should.
Why?
It's awesome.
How do you know?
I've been 3 times.
Oh, we won't even talk about the story the first time I went to Chicago.
No, I remember New York as a bad experience.
Mom, remember when I first went to Chicago?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And I took a Greyhound bus against your and Dad's will.
Yeah, she did that.
And they like threw a fit and like followed me to the bus station begging me not to go, and I went anyway.
You were a bad kid.
I was.
Not as bad as me, though.
She wasn't.
I was 18.
But
Remember
still,
when you guys begged me not to go?
Yeah, but I had never been out of West Virginia, and I really didn't want you to go out of West Virginia, and you went anyway.
And I came back safe.
And she came back safe, but what about the time that you took Philip and you all got lost, and you all went downtown?
And we're
Why
still,
were you scared of
still safe.
Philip going somewhere? Didn't he run away with the circus one time?
Yeah.
Like, wait, no.
Don't
Like,
even
he
get me started
actually
on that.
did that. No, get started on that. I've never actually heard this story before. I've only heard, Philip ran away with the circus,
Okay.
and then I was like, oh, okay, and then we stopped talking about it for some reason. I want to hear about this. Not my friend
Okay,
Philip,
my
not
son
Super Adventure
Philip,
Philip, but
My
my
son
Uncle
Philip and his friend Billy They get the ideal that
Philly
they're
and
going
Billy.
to go run away with the circus and work there. Okay.
Geniuses.
So they go. They go with the circus. And it's just like probably no time at all.
Like a week.
No, it wasn't even a week that they called and wanted to come back home, but they couldn't come back home because they was too far away. And I couldn't go get them. So they get there and they just like, they're really mean to him, Phil said. He said they like make it. He said, Mom, they made us work so hard. Like taking stuff down, and they was just scared. And then I was scared because here they was at the circus, and I was at home and couldn't get him. And so that's not funny, Donna.
Your life is not real. This is
anyway,
wild.
Shawn, Philip never would go to another circus. I mean, literally, when he grew up, I don't even know if he takes his kids to the circus or not because it was a very bad experience for Philip.
And he loves animals, and I don't think they treated the animals good.
Yeah, he loves animals, and they was mean to the animals, and he just wanted to come home. And I don't know how long it took him to get home, Donna. How long you think? So anyway, him and Billy decided that was not the job they wanted to do. So, and I was glad because I really didn't want him to go start that.
That is hilarious.
Why is that? Why is that funny, Shawn?
Because you see stuff in movies about like, yeah, ran away with the circus. It was awesome.
No, my son Philip really ran away with the circus.
Like,
But he ran
like
right
Barnum
back
and Bailey's,
home.
or like. This is unreal. I cannot believe this. Wow.
I'm glad we don't know the name of the circus because
There's only like 5 circuses that exist.
It was
so.
in Wayne, so you could probably look it up on Google or something.
Wayne County Circus. I'll get right on that. I'm sure I'll get a lot of results.
Yeah, but it was when Philip was young. How old do you think he was? 16?
Okay, Wayne County Circus, 1985. I'm sure I'll get even more results.
How old do you think he was? 16 or 18, him and Billy? They'd had to be an 18 to go, wouldn't they?
yeah.
I'm going to start a TV show. I'm going to call it Philly and Billy Go to the Circus. And I'm going to see how many hits I'll get. And if it makes any money at all, I'm going to give it all to Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
And be like, here, open your own circus.
Uncle Phil. There we go again. Uncle Phil, Dr. Phil.
Oh,
Listen,
God.
talk
Full
about the first time we
circle.
went to the ocean.
Oh. That was funny.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about it?
Okay. So this is actually my first trip ever, even before New York.
Okay.
Okay.
This was Myrtle
So,
Beach, right?
Here I live in West Virginia, and I don't even know if I'd only been in Huntington maybe a couple of times. I didn't drive for years and years. Anyway, Donna talks me into going to the beach with her. So I go. And I'd never been to the beach before, and I really don't know why I didn't know anything about the ocean, but I didn't. So when we get there, they take me down to the ocean, and I asked Donna, what's on the other side of the ocean?
No, what's on the other side of that sheet?
But water. Yeah,
She said, I've been trying to figure out what's on the other side of that water.
Donna, I said, I've been trying to figure something out. And Donna says, what? And I said, what's on the other side of that water?
And I said,
And then here they all start
"More water."
laughing at me because they said it's more water.
Well, you probably weren't taught basic geography when you were younger.
But I actually had a dream. I had a dream that there is something on the other side of that water.
There,
Donna, you ain't going to believe this.
Grandma, first of all, there is something on the other side of that water. It's called Africa. Second of all, I would love to hear about this fictional place you've created on the other side of the water. Let's go.
Okay, I had a dream that we was on a cruise, and the girls was with me, and the cruise ran into like the other side of the ocean, like ran into something, and we stopped, and there was these like this stairway that we were just jumping on. Actually, you know Chester Acton? He was with me for some crazy reason.
He's a cop in Wayne.
I was
In
going
my
to say, they're
dream.
both laughing like they absolutely know this
Yeah.
person and he's so funny and stuff.
Yeah, he is.
I've never met this guy.
He is a retired deputy sheriff in Wayne County who is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And why I had a dream about him, I'll never know. But we was holding hands and jumping it was like, looked like big fields of something soft. And we was like jumping from way high up and down. And so when I woke up, I thought, I'm going to call Donna because there is something on the other side of the ocean.
And it's heaven, apparently.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
But
well, hey guys, listen.
Since then, Mom has been on a cruise.
You've been on a cruise since?
Yeah, we have been on a cruise.
We're going on a cruise this October. Yeah, I'm going.
I'm so excited to take you, Shawn.
It's gonna be so much fun.
And I was really the one thing that scared me when I was on the cruise. I did go on a cruise with my girls.
Yeah.
The one thing that scared me, I kept thinking that not my girls, of course, but I kept thinking that somebody was going to get. What if somebody got drunk and fell over into the ocean? How would they get out?
Can I say something?
Yeah. Come on over here.
I actually found out you can only have like 15 drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is that why?
Yeah, per day. Yeah.
Oh, you can only have 15 drinks a day on the cruise ship? Okay, well, that makes sense.
All right. Shawn, you got it.
Yeah, well, what you're saying is instead of studying all these religions and stuff, instead of putting all of your faith into one religion, just take a cruise ship to the other side of the ocean and boom, you're in heaven, right?
Yeah. Pretty much that's what it looked like.
Yeah, according to...
But it was just a dream, Shawn. But it was like so real.
According to Super Grandma, that's how it's going. You like that? You like your nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you call me Super Grandma?
Because I'm Super Stuff. And Mom's Super Mom. And you're my Super Grandma.
Oh, okay.
Everything's super.
Shawn's been a superhero since he was like a baby.
Yeah, he's been a superhero since he was a baby.
Do you remember when you used to babysit him and if he didn't have a cape, you would have to make him a cape?
Yeah, actually I had to go. I went one time when they had, after Halloween, they had a clearance sale, and I went and bought Shawn one of all the costumes.
Say that word again?
A clearance sale.
Okay.
But anyway, so he had all of the costumes, and like as a little boy, he was always dressed in a costume. I mean, like every day of his life, he pretty much, because I babysitted him, he pretty much dressed in a costume every day of his life.
I know. Good thing I grew out of that, right? There's a Batman costume right behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
And Robin right beside Robin.
Yeah, Robin's right beside him.
My favorite...
Spider-Man's in my bedroom.
I do believe my favorite time, Shawn, of you growing up is when you was really young. You came out of the bedroom one day with this black wig on, a long black wig with a guitar, and you just started dancing. And it was just like so funny. And I knew right then that you was going to be a superhero.
An idiot. Oh.
You was going to be a superhero someday.
I remember when Shawn used to go to Playmates daycare, they actually called me one day and said, Shawn keeps crying for a cape. And I was like, oh gosh, I forgot his cape at home. So, do you have like a pillowcase or a piece of material or anything that you can make him a cape out of? And the woman was like, okay, I'll figure something out.
I want my cape.
You had a red one.
So when I picked him up, he had a cape that one of the teachers made out of like white material.
Yeah, Shawn, you literally had a red cape.
Hilarious.
You had a red cape that every day, as soon as you got out of the bed, you would get that cape and tie it around your neck, and you would go flying through the house, and that cape would be flying up in the air. And I mean, you really, literally thought you was a superhero, and I believe you was.
That is great. That's great, for real. But hey, since we're talking about like vacation spots and stuff, I want to know what your top 5 favorite places are that you feel most at home.
Okay. First of all, visiting with my kids.
Okay, that's your number 1. You're starting with 1, going down?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
And home.
Your home?
It's my home.
Okay, I got that.
And I love to go walking in the park.
Why?
I don't know. I just love the park. I love to hear the birds sing. I love to just watch the water.
Oh, you're Cinderella.
And I just love to walk in the park.
All right.
And Ocean Lakes.
Ocean Lakes Camp Resort in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Well, what do you love so much about Ocean Lakes?
Everything.
The fact that you don't even need a map anymore to navigate around it because you've been there every year for 20 years?
Oh, no. We've been there for 20 years and we still don't know our way around.
It's a cool place.
And besides, I would still get lost if I went out on the golf cart, remember?
Yeah, oh yeah. It is a cool place, though. I've been a couple times. I haven't been the past few years, but I've been a couple times, and it was fun. One thing that I do have to say about that place, they have the absolute best ice cream I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, they do.
The Sandy's Snack Shack has the best butter pecan ice cream I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, so the best year was when we all won the scavenger hunt, and we all
Yeah,
got
that was
free
cool.
ice cream.
Yeah, that was really cool. They have this annual scavenger hunt every year, and they only one family can win it or whatever, but you have to like find all of these things in like a certain amount of time. And like our family won one year, and we all got free ice cream. It was really cool. Yeah.
After 20 tries, we won. And my last one would be going to bluegrass festivals with my sister and friends.
Mm-hmm. Poppy Mountain, I think it's called.
I love Poppy Mountain.
Happy Poppy.
Happy Poppy.
Happy Poppy.
Happy
Yeah.
Poppy.
Hey, you went one time.
Yeah, I did go one year. Yeah,
Kids one time.
Yeah.
it was fun.
We saw Jamie Johnson.
Did we? I don't know who that is.
He's a country singer.
I don't listen to country music.
First time I ever took a drink of moonshine was at Poppy Mountain.
Great.
That was a bad experience.
Your grandmother has drank alcohol.
No way. Next, you're going to tell me
It
she's
was
had
only the
sex
first
before.
time my sister talked me into it. I never did drink moonshine again.
I've never tried moonshine. I've never tried moonshine before.
It was just a drink, Shawn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
For real. It was just a drink, and I didn't never want to do it again.
Okay.
Because I think it makes you go blind. People say it does.
It does? Okay. Here's the moral of the story. If you drink moonshine, you'll go blind and you will die. So instead, just drink the Bible. Hey.
I know that's what I always told my kids, not to never drink moonshine. They'd go blind, and then here I go to Poppy Mountain and try moonshine.
You dirty, dirty girl.
My sister Norma talked me into it. It was her fault.
Horrible person. Okay, here's my my top 5 places where I feel at home. So number 5 is when I take my dogs to the dog park. Because I feel, back when I used to work at like Boxers and stuff, I was always with dogs, always with animals, and I love dogs and animals so much, and I just feel like I can be myself when I'm at a dog park because I don't have to deal with people. Because I don't like a whole lot of social interaction. When I'm behind my drum set, because I feel like I feel at home when I'm playing drums or when I'm playing with a band or something like that. It always feels good to me, you know. It just like it brings back the memories of being in a band and how I one day want to be in a band again. And it's just a whole lot of fun being behind my drum set and stuff.
You can do it, Shawn.
Yeah, I mean maybe, you know. So my number 3 is Comic-Cons because I feel like that's really when I became a
Superhero.
I became a superhero at birth. No, I feel like that's when I started to realize what my passions were, is when I met my friend Tonray and we started traveling together and going to Comic-Cons and stuff. And now we're inseparable best friends. We're going to Comic-Con again this weekend, and I cannot wait because I haven't been in like a year, and I'm so excited. It's just a place where I feel like I can just be myself, you know, because everyone else there is just as nerdy, just as geeky as I am, and they're all dressing up like superheroes and anime characters and stuff, so they can really just do whatever they want.
So you think you're a nerd?
Big time. That
No,
meant
you're not.
that meant something different when you were younger than it does now. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Number 2 is death metal concerts and festivals because I really like death metal
I
a
thought
lot.
that was number 3.
No, that's number 2. You looked at my list. Ooh, that's against the rules. Nah, death metal concerts and festivals and stuff. I love death metal. For real. Do you like death metal, Grandma?
What is it?
I'll play you some death metal later. We'll see if you like
Is
it.
that head banging stuff, Shawn?
Yeah, it is.
Where people bangs their head and everything?
That's what headbanging is.
No, I don't think I like it.
You sure? Maybe you just haven't heard a band you like. I have this band that you should listen to. It's called...
I do like a lot of music, but I don't think I like death metal.
You should listen to Burn the Dead. They're a really good band. Or, what's the band? I Set My Friends on Fire.
Shawn, that don't even sound good.
I Wrestled a Bear Once. They're good, too. I'll play you some music. Anyway, number 1 is Chicago.
I got a story about a bear.
Forget Chicago. I want to hear this. Let's go. I got 5 minutes left. Let's hear the story about the bear.
Okay, my son Philip,
Yeah?
we was visiting with my sister and her husband,
Uh-huh.
and he decides to go up on the hill and use the bathroom.
No way. I have to get
swear.
Philip on my podcast.
Okay, and he actually gets up there, and he is face to face with a big bear.
While mid-dump?
Yeah, I'm serious. No, like, as soon as he runs up in the hill really, really fast, and then he hears something go, and he looks, and there's a bear. And he says, I didn't know what to do. He said, so I just stood there and stared at it for a while, and then I took off flying. So he ran back home.
Did the bear follow him?
I don't remember. You'd have to ask him.
Next time you tell that story...
I'm getting a little bit older, Shawn. I forget a few things.
Ooh.
Did I say that?
I think you just broke a little part of my heart. All right, well, we're about out of time here. Thank you for being on the podcast, Grandma.
You're welcome.
It's been real. For those of you who want to check me out on other platforms, I have some Super Adventure Brothers episodes coming up of when we're going to Comic-Con. I have some other podcasts that you can listen to on Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube if you're a YouTube kind of person. You can also follow Celebration 365. That is my company that we do princesses, birthday parties, and superheroes and all that stuff. We have videos of that on my YouTube as well. But for those of you who like the podcast, thank you for listening.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I'm going to send Dr. Phil a message and tell him what you said you didn't mean.
Okay. I really appreciate you clearing things up between me and Dr. Phil. We've had it really rough the past few days.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Super Stuff. I'm Shawn Price. Have a nice day.